Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and from the maker of the Square Body Trail Bruiser and, of course, the Classic Crew comes the Dentside Classic. Now, John Hot Rod has been working really hard on these very high-quality trucks, and not only has he been working hard on them, but he's also been working hard at making them console-friendly. Now, as of the recording of this video, the Square Body Trail Bruiser, has recently made it to consoles, and I can only assume that things like the Classic Crew are not far behind, obviously because they were made with the same idea and the same philosophy. But this video is dedicated to the Dentside Classic. We're going to be doing a full in-depth look at the Dentside Classic, and we're also going to be putting it through its paces in various different performance tests. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you stick around for the rest of the video. Now here we are on the summer testing grounds with the Dentside Classic in this dark red and black color combination. But what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to look at that paint job as we slowly pan the camera around and watch how the light actually shines off of the paint. The actual reflections and the shininess of this paint is absolutely mind-blowing. It literally looks like the whole truck was just polished. And there are very few truck mods in SnowRunner that really do pull off that just polished look, really. Now, also, if you look up underneath the truck, which we will go into free camera to do, you can see that not only do we have a really cool, like, actual California license plate right here that says Dentside, but you have a fully animated and modeled suspension and Dynatrack axles underneath as well. Now, looking around to the front side of the truck, also you have a fully modeled frame, and then all of the steering components are fully modeled, as is the engine. Now, Ford fans may be a little bit iffy about the engine that's under there because it is an LSA, so you do have an LS swap in this thing, or an LS-based engine. But if you look under the front, obviously you have these gigantic bump stops accompanied by massive coilovers, all of your steering parts, as well as, it looks like, a hydro assist steering system as well. So let's go ahead and take it into the garage now and see what this thing not only sounds like on startup, but what you can do to it in the garage. Firing it up. There we go. It sounds really, really good. Like, it sounds really good. And also, the interior. Oh my god, guys, the interior. I mean, look at this. You even have plaid inserts on the seats and the door panels. Everything here. You can even see the stitching on the door handle itself. Like, that level of detail and that attention to detail in an interior is absolutely ridiculous and over the top in every way, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So now it's time to actually get into the customization. So engines-wise, we have stockish spec at 405 horsepower, grocery getter spec at 556 horsepower, and trail runner supercharged at 800 horsepower. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the 800 horsepower engine, and the reason for that is because on one of my recent live streams, I actually spent a lot of time with the 556 horsepower engine, and I gotta say, it is a really, really balanced way to drive this truck. Now, if you want to go for a little bit more of a wild and crazy approach, obviously the Trail Runner Supercharged spec is going to be the go-to for you. So I would recommend the Trail Runner 6-speed. That's my favorite transmission for this truck. And suspension-wise, King of the Hammers spec is going to be your no damage option. And then, of course, there's the lifted tow and haul spec, which you're going to be using that if you want to haul cargo, because this is compatible with the IR gooseneck pack. Now, stockish spec, once again, that's going to be pretty much your stock suspension option, and then stockish tow and haul, once again, that's going to be a lower towing and hauling suspension, and then Trail Runner spec is going to be the same travel and ride height as the King of the Hammers spec, but it has the ability to get damaged. So if you're looking for a little bit more of a, I wouldn't almost say balanced gameplay aspect, but I would say more along the lines of if you're looking to add a little bit more challenge to your gameplay experience, the Trail Runner spec would probably be the right one to go with, but I'm going to go with the King of the Hammers spec for this build. Now, as far as the tires go, you're going to start off with a 37-inch Baja TA, and then going up to a 38-inch Baja Claw, and the first section of tires basically allows you to go through every tire available between 37 and 39-inch in size. Now, the list repeats once you get to the 41-inch tires, and you have basically all of the same tire options going up from 41 to 43, with these 43-inch BFG crawlers being the biggest you can put on the truck. And if you do want to use this truck in a snowy or icy environment, you have both a 38 and 42-inch diffuse snow and ice tire, which once again is rated as excellent in snow and ice environments. So our option for this build that we're going to go with is the 43-inch BFG crawler. Now, winch-wise, we already have the TrailRunner Spec 12-volt winch, which, once again, that's going to be your offline electric winch. We're going to leave that in. Diff lock already installed. Snorkel, once again, Super Trick Invisible Roll Cage Snorkel. Super cool. You basically don't have to have a snorkel on the truck, but it acts like it has a snorkel, which, honestly, for a lot of people that don't like the way a snorkel looks, that can be a really good option. Now, as far as the towing and hauling capabilities go, you have a gooseneck hitch and a shorty tow hitch, but once again, since we have the King of the Hammer spec suspension, it drops the truck down a lot, and we're not going to want to use that unless we have the appropriate suspension installed. Now, body-wise, you have the hood, which can be removed, the license plate, chrome rear bumper, roof drip rails, rear cab molding, and tailgate molding, which can, like I said, all be removed. And once again, the stock hood, if we take that off, let me go around to the front, boom! There you can see basically everything inside the engine bay in all its glory, which, by the way, looks absolutely incredible. So we're going to put the hood back on now. And off-road protection, you have a classic bull bar, TrailRunner spec protection, which is kind of more of a Baja bumper style. And then you have the TrailRunner spec protection in the back, which if you so choose, you can use it. But on a build like this, I would probably prefer to keep it out of there. Now, the tire carrier we are going to use, and I'm going to go with one of my personal favorite wheel setups for this truck, and that is the KMC Machete beadlock in gold. And then we're going to go with a set of BFG crawlers wrapped around our KMC machetes. So now, as far as wheels go, or wheels themselves, again, KMC machetes in gold. Love the way they look. Absolutely love the way they look. And then colors-wise, this is once again where it gets very interesting. Now, this really, really shiny dark red is just as shiny as every single other color option that you can put on this truck. Every single color option for this truck is so incredibly, like, polished and shiny and just honestly gorgeous that you can't go wrong with any color option you choose on this truck. There is not a single color option that you might choose on this truck where you could go wrong, that you can't do it wrong. You literally cannot get this wrong. And I can't say that enough because at the end of the day, I mean, even if you want to go for a solid color with no stripe, you could do that as well. Every single color for this truck looks brilliant. It all looks amazing. And I could spend so much time in here just going over these colors over and over and over again, trying to figure out which one was the best looking one for my build and which one was the one that I really wanted to go home with. But I think I'm going to go for this slightly darker red. It's not ultra bright. It's just a little bit of a brighter red, but not super bright. So let's see how that looks. Oh my God. What an absolutely gorgeous truck. What an absolutely beautiful truck, man. What a beautiful setup. Let's see how this thing runs once I take it through some off-road tests. Now, one of the other things about this truck is the towing, and I could go into a full separate segment on towing, but if you guys would like to see how this thing actually hauls, you can actually go and check out the most recent stream replay, as of posting this video, the most recent stream replay, because we did do a towing build on that stream, and we did do a little bit of towing testing with this truck on that stream as well. So let's make our way through the river. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it doesn't complain whatsoever. There's absolutely no complaining going on in any, for any stretch of the imagination. I mean, and that's with the top engine, but it would be doing just as well with the 550 horsepower engine. Once again, I still feel like my favorite engine to use in this truck is the middle of the road 556 horsepower. It does a great job. Look at that flex, too. For a full-size truck, I mean, that's a sick amount of flex. That looks great. So now I'm going to put it in low, and we're going to try a little bit of a rock obstacle. Kind of already got it into a bit of a bind, and I'm going to try and get it out of said bind. Hopefully I can get it out of said bind. Well, that's great. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to back it out of that, because that had already not gone the way I had intended it to go. Really not wanting to make that a thing. Okay, we'll come at it from the left side now. I said we'll come at it from the left side now. Come on. Let's go. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Oh, yeah, there you go. Once you actually get the line right, I mean, it crawls like a beast. Ease it over the edge. I will say, the way the suspension actually drops, or droops, you would call it, is a little weird. I mean, I feel like maybe that could be fine-tuned a little bit, but once again, it's not my truck. So, like, I'm sure he's tuned it a very specific way to suit his specific needs. But, yeah, as far as rolling it over, we're very good at that, aren't we? Come on. Oh my god, come on. What in the heck are you doing? I want to get this thing back onto its wheels, but it's just kind of being weird right now. Just kind of being sketchy. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Yes! Wow, the quick winch went to a solid winch point? What the heck is this? It never does that. Now, off to the mud test. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh, I said, let's see what this thing can do. Jeez. Alright, so how far will I be able to go in the mud in high without it sinking? Well, I don't think we have to worry about sinking because it got so much grip on the way into the mud that it just rolled right over. That's not a normal occurrence at all. You guys know this. That is not a normal occurrence in the mud on this map whatsoever. So let me pull this guy a little bit closer to that pole over there so I can use it as a way to flip myself over. But you know what? Doesn't seem like it wants to do that. Yeah, it really doesn't seem like it wants to do that. So I'm going to use Lime's 2017 L400 as a quick rescue truck. Just a very quick rescue truck. I'm not even going to need to start it. Dude, I don't even need to start it. I literally just used it as an anchor because, once again, it's such a heavy truck. All right, come on. First mud lane. Please don't roll over on me. And I'm full on into the power. I mean, if you've got all four wheels on the ground in the mud, I mean, it rips, it goes. The grip values must be really high on these tires, but let's see. But once it gets into the deeper stuff, it gets a little sketchy. But then, I mean, I guess once the wheel speed catches up with the grip that you have in the mud, in low or low plus, you're good to go. Let's try low minus. The difference between low and low minus didn't really have any effect on speed, so I'm not really going to worry about that. But I will say, judging by the performance that we're seeing in the second mud lane, I am not going to take it into the pond because I feel like that would definitely beach it. Absolutely, absolutely would beach it. Come on, find your way up the edge. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. I'm about at half throttle right now, and I'm not sure if it wants to... Okay, there we go. Sending it. Oh, pulled the front axle up off the ground a little bit there. That's sick. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a quick stop at the... Well, I was supposed to say a quick stop. A quick drive through the dips obstacle. And once we do that... Oh, God. Nice and easy. Yeah, once we do that, we will be off to the bridge jump. Now, going through the dips obstacle, it actually does a pretty good job. I've got to admit, it does a pretty dang good job. And one of the things I do have to say that I kind of like about this is the fact that it's like... You would think that it would be getting beached on these bumps because of the fact that it's a longer wheelbase truck, but because of the way the suspension is tuned to match the wheelbase and the tire size, I mean, it hasn't even thought about getting beached yet. Even right there, I mean, I basically dragged the whole underbody of the truck. Now, granted, I am going at a little bit of a diagonal here, which really, at the end of the day, is kind of something you want to do when you're going through an obstacle like this, just to help with traction. But it's still absolutely doing a great job. And now... It's time to head to the bridge jump. You guys already know. Let's freaking go! Now, as long as it doesn't nosedive like crazy, it should do a pretty good job off the bridge jump. I'm kind of like leaning towards the fact that it might nosedive, but I don't know. I mean, you would think it'd be pretty nose heavy, especially with the fact that it's an older truck with a big heavy V8 under the hood, but you never know. We've been wrong before when it comes to the bridge jump. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, come on. Make your way up the hill. Come on. The side panel's a little torn up, but don't worry about it. All right, up and over the edge. Let's go. There's fifth. There's sixth gear. Fully sent and go. I mean, it nosedived a little bit, but not as much as I thought it would. It was funny. It basically, like, hit the barrels with the front bumper and then kept going. It didn't fully roll over. Wait a minute. No way! By some very odd stroke of luck, we were able to actually get it to flip over onto its wheels and drive away. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this look at this truck. And if you did, make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions on it in the comments down below. And if you're new around here, do consider hitting that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I will see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.